Hey guys, how's it going? Lighty here, and today we're talking about loot filters, how to make them, what do they do, everything about them. Now, a loot filter does exactly what you think it would do. It filters out loot, and this will let you hide what you want to be hidden and show what you want shown. Now, if you're thinking, why would I not just want to pick up all the loot? Well, in maps, or the endgame areas, endgame zones of Path of Exile, there's a finite amount of portals, or access to each map you have. It's maximum 6, 1 per each player in the party at most. And you don't pick up things the same reason why you don't pick up, like, pennies in real life, or, just sometimes when you're walking across the street, you see a penny, you don't just run across the street to pick it up. It's just, like, not efficient. It's not worth your time, kind of. So I'm going to show you how to make loot filters, what mine is, and just kind of like an idea of what it looks like in the grass behind loot filters. It's like, it may look like basic coding to you in a way, but it's all it is a text document. It's really easy to do, really easy to access. So on screen here is an example of, well, it's a really old clip I have of myself, and this is what it looks like with a loot filter when it's not turned on. This was the game before loot filters. I'm just going to pause it here. As you can imagine, this is a clusterfuck to look at. And it's even worse in zones like at Ziri and other unique maps where there's even more loot. The higher the quantity of the map, the higher the clusterfuck it's going to look like. So this was life before filters. There was no sounds, no nothing. If you had a mirror drop off screen or an exalted, you wouldn't even know unless you just stumbled upon it. Now, one of the biggest draws of loot filters is not only filtering out expensive and crazy currency you drop. So when you have it drop off screen or you may miss it, you make sure you don't. But it also can be tailored to leveling. So you can have things dropping that have specific item levels. This way I can have, Quicksilver flasks shown when I'm level 1 through 60, because after that, I realistically shouldn't need them anymore. There's tons of tailoring you could do to your filter in general. So where is your filter located? Well, if you go under options, and that's UI, and you go all the way to the bottom, it'll say list of item filters. Now you can actually see the ones I have here. None. There is a default one that GGG made, which is like Path of Exile's default filter. I don't really know how good it is, or it's not really tailor-made to your character. And the reason I say tailor-made to your character is that in specific filters, for example, in my filter, I have white death bows shown because I am trying to chance them to get a death's harp, and that will be completely useless for the characters. That's why you could tailor make your filter to your characters. Now we go back to that screen. You can click show folder. It'll just pop up your it's under my PC, basically documents, games, Path of Exile. Then you'll see filter folders. Now if you don't have a folder here, it's not going to show up. I actually don't know where the default folder is even hidden, so if you have no folder, it's not going to show up. But they are filter file is the type. So if you go to properties and look at their file type, it is just .filter. So you could save a Word document as .filter, and it'll do the same thing. Notepad works perfectly fine for this. Okay, let's just take a little look at this here for a second. So this is what it looks like. Okay, this is what a loot filter basically looks like. It's a bunch of shit in a row, and basically order priority does matter. So the higher up on the list of the things here, it'll take priority. What I mean by take priority, we have 6 sockets, we have 5 links. Okay, so 5 links are more important than 6 sockets because they're higher up on the list. This means that if I had something that dropped that was 6 socket and 5 linked, it would make the sounds, and it would show for being 5 linked over 6 sockets. And you could do tons of stuff. A lot of people have very similar things. For example, all exalteds are loud as fuck. When it says these numbers next to the colors, okay, this is all this is the RGB HTML color coding. So you can just go to htmlcolorcodes.com, and these are the corresponding numbers. So these are the numbers that they mean. So if I want this thing to look like whatever color I want in the world, I just, pick the color I want. I do the little slider. All right, so I want it to be this kind of sea foam greenish. That means when I type in the color, I type in 48 space 231 space 136. Just right next to it, like it is here. So a lot of the basic things you could do here are, they're basic. They're pretty things. You could change the rarity. You could change the sockets. You could change even the color of the sockets. For example, here we could choose socket group RGB, which means that it is 3 linked sockets, okay, that are linked red, blue, green. This means you're picking up things for a chromatic recipe. And then there's tons of other archetypes out there. Even on the wiki page, they have a list of like loot filters that they submitted. So if you want to just take one of these guys' loot filters, you can. You could make your own if you want to take theirs and tweak it. A lot of people like never sinks. Apparently, I do not like it, so I did not use it. I made mine the day that loot filters came out. So if you want to use one of theirs, you could just kind of use one of theirs and strip it and change it to your will. So on the Path Wiki page itself, they actually have a lot of good information about item filters. Very easy steps on how to find, add, locate, and create your own file. The specific syntax regarding them, and basically all the basic stuff how to show. They have all the basic conditions like we discussed: item level, drop level, quality class, base types, sockets, link sockets, socket groups, even height and width. This is what we were talking about earlier, when you could have it so say you wanted a chromatic item and you wanted it to be just a 1x3s like wands or one-hand swords. That way you don't have 6 2x6s like maces and stabs shown, because it takes up too much inventory space. You could easily do it with this value. Same thing for corrupted, and same thing for identified. You can change the border color, the text color, the background color, the sound it makes, and the font size it goes up to. They have various examples, so it's a really good resource. And there's the page we saw from earlier about which ones you want to use. They even have an item filter guide if you want, and this goes more in depth on how to do specific things, as in sample filters of what to show, what to hide. So really you can mix and match your own. This is a GitHub that someone made. If you just Google it, it's called item filter debugger, and it really lets you it have like a sample size of what's here, and you could I could copy in a specific line if I wanted to. I can copy in this line here. Boom. See, there's the code I put in, and this is the effect it has on it. So again, this is without it, and then with it, there's my code I added in from my filter. When I remove it, you can see the changes. I put it on, everything's large with little pink borders. And once you're done tweaking and making your code inside this GitHub filter application, you just click download right here, and it'll just download it into a filter folder for you. So it's really, really easy. So say if you wanted to use my filter as an architect, you just copy the whole thing, or copy someone else's filter, the entire one. All right, really, really easily shown. Okay, and you just boom, you paste the whole thing in, and it'll have it all here. This way you could tweak it in real time, and it'll show you the different values and show you the impact it'll actually make on the game if it actually occurred. And when you're done, it tells you, okay, this is token 3 at line 123. So we go to 123. This means nothing apparently. So now I know that this value actually didn't do anything. So I fixed a little error in my code thanks to this thing. This thing is great. So that about covers the basic application of loot filters, how to make your own, how to tweak your own. And there's tons of things you could do, like showing specific map drops and having them highlighted with certain colors, having your filter tailored to your specific needs, showing hidden items in a specific way. So if you don't want to do chaos recipe openly, you could again always push Alt to hide and show your loot filter. And you could do this to show hidden things that maybe if you're doing chaos recipe, rares that are hidden will show up larger, so it's easier to grab them if you just needed extra something on the go. So let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear what loot filters you use. I'm Lighty, and have a good day.